Awesome. All right. Yay, I think we're live. Great. Hello. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. All right. Let's give you guys some time to come in. Hey, love. Hello, YouTube and Instagram. We're back at it. Back at it with another day. This is day 10 on the power of prayer. Oh my goodness. I hope you guys are doing well this morning. You had a great weekend. Hope you felt rested, rejuvenated, restored onto a new week. Yes, awesome. Well, without much further ado, I am Tahiri Divine. I also go by Diana the Metaphysical Midwife. You can find me on all my social sites as a, yeah, she says, great topic. Yes. So you guys can find me on all my social sites as Tahiri Divine, where we learn that not only are we the student, but we're also the teacher. So we're here to learn and build for our freedom financially, spiritually, physically, mentally. And this is what we're here for. So today, guys, talking today about the power of prayer. Today's topic is going to be on self-discipline and how self-discipline is imperative when it comes to activating the power of prayer, the law of prayer in our lives, right? We all deal with some levels of self-discipline, whether it's going to be disciplining ourselves to stick to a routine, disciplining ourselves to stick to hey, good morning. Whether it's sticking to a routine, sticking to a ideology, a practice, whatever it is that we have, there's always some type of level of self-discipline that needs to be enacted in order for us to get to the said success or said goal that we believe or we're setting for ourselves. So I want to give you guys a reference today from Think and Grow Rich. So I'm going to read a reference in here about self-discipline, and we're going to go straight into it and go from there. So this is going to be on the organized planning chapter in Think and Grow Rich, and it says, lack of self-discipline. Discipline comes through self-control. This means that you must control all negative qualities. Before you can control conditions, you must first control yourself. Self-mastery is the hardest job you will ever tackle. If you do not conquer self, you will be conquered by self. You may see at one and the same time both your best friend and your greatest enemy by stepping in front of a mirror. Okay, so when it comes to our success, right? When it comes to just tapping in prayer, right? Doing this for 30 days, right? Or actively doing it for 30 days. It is a level of self-discipline that comes to, depending on your routine. For mine is getting up in the morning and preparing myself and the level of discipline it takes to not want to hit the snooze button, right? Or whether you are sticking to a workout plan, right? The level of discipline that you have to build or self control that we have to build to combat our impulses. Because especially when you're used to doing something a certain way and now we're trying to change or to adapt or, maneuver differently, we're humans. We're used to being in a certain comfortability, right? So once we got settled in certain comfortability, it becomes difficult, or now it takes a level of self-control to revert to a totally different pattern. Hey, Raven, I see you there. Grand Rising. And so in doing so, as far as developing self-discipline, is really coming from a place of controlling self and then really asking yourself, is this level of discomfort, my immediate discomfort, is this worth the prize or the goal at the end of the tunnel, right? So we have to really be real and honest with ourselves, not just on our motivations, but also on our abilities to see something through. do we have the mental fortitude? Do we have the stamina, the willpower to say that this temporary level of discomfort or this temporary level of just something I just plain out I just don't want to do, is it me giving into that impulse? Is that greater, or is it worth me not pursuing the goal, right? So that's something we have to really be very clear with ourselves so that we can come to a level of self-control and self-mastery and seeing something get through. So the same thing happens. Like I said, just my biggest thing when it comes to self-control, okay, a complete just not disclaimer, but transparency here is I really love sweets, right? Sweets is my thing, like a cookie or, cupcake. Well, not really cupcakes, but like cookies. Cookies and ice cream. I love cookies and ice cream. And so I have to really train myself like, okay, not only do I not buy these things when I go to family functions or if I'm going out somewhere, I have to be like, okay, we're going to be clear. We're not eating any sweets today. We're going to actively not do this. And so having that level of self talk and having that reinforcing within my own internal on why do I not want to continue to do that? Because eating cookies is not a bad thing, but it can be if it's an abundance or an excessive, right? Or if it's going to be something that's going to derail you from a said particular path, right? So we have to do that with ourselves, taking audit in our lives, like, okay, what area of my life do I need to develop self control? And if I do not have self control in this area, if I continue to do these things, will it benefit me in the long run or will it hinder me on my journey and my purpose? So we have to really evaluate that within ourselves. And it makes it easier because I don't want to go like, oh, it's hard to have self control. No, it's not hard to have self control. It's it can be difficult or hard to retrain the mind. But even when you do that consistently and you consistently work on those areas that you feel where you lack discipline in, you will definitely see the changes needed in your life to ensure that you're going to get to the final step. So this concept of building control, building self-discipline starts with the mind. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Everything says mental. It does not manifest anywhere else until it starts here first, right? And that's one thing I really like about this book about Think and Grow Rich. Although he's talking about discipline as it comes to building wealth in life, but that is just to build anything in life. It's not limited to just wealth, but that is a great way or tool to use to build wealth because you want to make sure you're disciplined in your spending, disciplined in making a budget, sticking to the budget, because making the budget isn't hard. It is sometimes sticking to our budget because, hey, unexpected things happen, right? And also, too, we just want to give into our own impulses. Oh, this certain thing is on Amazon or whatever online shopping. That these snares will come up in our life, especially when we make a conscious decision to be more aware of how we proceed or move, or when we create a strategy in our life. That's where discipline and control really will kick in as far as us revealing to ourselves if we have it or not. Okay. So I know that for myself, discipline is definitely an area, not where I struggle with, but more so where I will it's not something, yeah, I don't struggle with self-discipline. I struggle with the doubt. And I don't know if anybody else experiences it, but sometimes the doubt will kick in as far as saying, well, this may not come through because such and such didn't happen. However, whatever mental voices that we hear that to make us believe or try to convince us. That's what I say, try to convince us the goal that the goal may not happen or that the immediate discomfort or the immediate not not giving in to the indulgences or our compulsions and impulses would kind of kick in and make you try to get you to believe or doubt what you're doing. So that right there comes in controlling those negative voices. Like, hey, that's not what I tell myself, right? So whoever you are, gotta go. So again, it's again getting a mental fortitude, right? Building up, knowing how to check your own thoughts. And I think I gave you guys a really good uh, exercise last week when I was saying when particularly for me, when dealing with anxiety, one of the practices that helped me was sitting down with myself and people watching or thought watching my thoughts and allowing them to just play out and being emotionally detached, being just fully detached and just watching them. And as the thoughts played out, I would push it away. And then another one would come, let that one play out, push it away. Another one would call, let that one play out and push it away when it was done. And I got to a place where I was able to clear out my mental space where there was no other voice but my own. And that was a practice that I did daily to get to the area where I was able to train myself to hear my voice and recognize my own voice and not the voices of other people or the voices of like I said, it would be other people, other thought forms, other thought patterns that were not aligned with me and what I believed about myself or what I believed I can achieve, right? So that is an important factor as far as having that clarity and then being able to commit and why, knowing your why. When you know your why, I believe that helps you to be more clear on what you need to do to get to that next level, right? Or get to that goal or get to over this hill or over this mountain of life, right? So self-discipline is a level of self-control, and self-control comes with practice. And even if you do give in to your impulses, right? Learning to have grace with yourself, that is a big thing that I've learned, is that you have to have grace. We're not going to get it right every time. You just may give in to your impulses. And you know what? Then there's a new day. You can always start fresh again. It's not about beating yourself up, but it's allowing yourself to have the grace to say, hey, okay, this time I gave in. I now see how that plays out when I give in to my impulses. Did it get me closer to my goal? No. Redirect. That's all it is. We don't have to go through this whole negative self-talk or this whole spiral of like, oh, I got to start all over again. No, just do it again. Start fresh and go forward with that. But that is my thoughts on this level of power of prayer and developing routine, developing discipline, developing control, and sticking to it, starting with your mind and then believing in it, and then execution, 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 execution. Just do it, right? That's the only way to do it. Wait, they say nothing to it but to do it, right? And that's really what it takes, is nothing to it but to do it. Let's see, I think there is one more excerpt I want to read as it deals with self-discipline. And this one is going to be coming from the Mental Toughness Handbook. Hello, Grand Rising. And I like how he gives some examples of how to have self-discipline or how to develop it. Oh, thank you, Watermelon. Thank you. So one of the secrets, I like how he says these are 5 secrets in how to strive in building self-discipline. And one of the important factors, he says, there's a difference between self-discipline and willpower. Willpower is I like to liken the willpower to our sun energy or our Mars energy. It's just that energy to just do it, right? That's one aspect of having discipline, is the willpower. The other factor of it is really, what is the fuel? I like to think as self-discipline being the fuel and the willpower being the engine that revs up and gets it there, right? Okay, so this is what he says about self-discipline and willpower. He says willpower is like that friend who's occasionally there, but who's occasionally there for you, but mostly not. He or she cannot be relied upon. However, self-discipline is like that friend who's always there for you, regardless of the circumstances. Once you develop that friendship, you can rely on it with complete and utter confidence. That is amazing. Willpower will give you the self-control you need to resist eating junk food this afternoon. But self-discipline will give you the self-control you need to abstain from the junk food for the foreseeable future. I really like that analogy as looking at willpower and self-discipline as friends, right? Willpower is something that you would, you have that can be there for you, but it's not going to be for you all the time because you have to really pull your willpower out. What is really a consistent friend is self-discipline, because self-discipline, as he says, is that friend who's always there for you, regardless of the circumstances. So, regardless of the circumstances, let's say I'm choosing to work out every day, right, and go for a jog, regardless of the circumstances. Oh, it's a little windy, or maybe a light drizzle, or whatever the circumstances may be. You stick to the goal. You stick to the plan. That is willpower. That is self-discipline. As far as willpower, sometimes it's the drive to want to do it. And we don't always have the drive to want to do something, but we definitely can have self-discipline be that grounding foundation to push and see through. So facts. So let's go ahead and get into these secrets that he gave us about the secrets to having a self-disciplined life. The secret number one, he talks about create a temptation-free environment. And that is so true. You have to create a temptation-free environment. If you know cookies is not your thing, then don't buy cookies, okay? So create a environment. Take small steps moving forward. Sometimes when we have an idea or an action or a plan or a goal, we get so lofty in the beginning as far as setting these really high bars for ourselves, which is nothing wrong with setting a high standard, but make sure that you're putting in realistic, or what they call SMART goals, realistic, bite-sizable goals that you can really tackle and sink your teeth into. Sometimes we get too grand in our ideas of what we want to accomplish that we can sometimes it'll be too big for us to handle. And then when we have a slip up or we don't follow through on something, we'll just throw the whole thing away without realizing, hey, let's do this in bite-sized pieces, okay? Number 3, create an action plan. And that's going to be so important. You have to have an action plan. I talk about strategy, right? Having a strategy plan. Have a plan on what you do if you fall off, if you don't follow through. Having a discipline plan in there. Okay, if I give into eating these cookies, then I'm going to make sure I drink 2 extra cups of water today, or I'm going to jog 30 minutes extra today, because I have to give myself an action plan on when I do succeed, and also an action plan if I happen to not succeed or fail or give in. I have to have some form of discipline for self, right? What works for me, because what works for you, what works for yourself, right? Let's see, grow accustomed to short-term unpleasantness. This is so important. Short-term discomfort is something that we cannot avoid, all right? It's part of developing self-discipline. We have to get used to short-term discomfort for the long-term goal, right? And secret number 5 is commit to doing nothing but the task in front of you. And this is something that for us people who have squirrel minds, you're committing to your task, but then this idea comes, or this comes, or I remember I got to do the laundry from yesterday, or, you got to stick to your plan. Like, hey, if you set this time out to do your jog, do it. If you set this time out to read your books, do it. This time out to study, whatever that you're disciplining yourself to commit to, you have to commit to doing the task and sticking to it. What did you say the name of the book is? It is called The Mental Toughness Handbook. And I will make sure I leave the link in the Instagram won't allow me to leave links, so the links is going to be on the YouTube video. So YouTube video by the same name on Tahiri Divine YouTube channel. I'll ensure you guys can get the link of this book. But yes, so self-discipline comes in many forms, but ultimately it boils down to resisting our impulses and carrying out our plans regardless of the attendant inconvenience. We can learn to do this, and in doing so, pave the way to bolster our own mental toughness. So that is something that's important to me, guys. If you guys know, I'm really about building our mental toughness, right? Building our mental dexterity. Make sure that our thoughts and our frequency, our vibration is in alignment to the manifestations that we want in our life, right? We have to ensure that, because what you think, what you believe, you shall have. And if you believe you deserve the best, you shall have the best. If you believe that you're not worthy, you will have what you say what you believe. So that's one of my passions, is getting us to believe and to live out our desires, and to live out the ideas and the dreams that we have, that have been given to us. So yeah. Hey, G Money, what's up? What's up? Grand Rising. But all right, you guys have any thoughts, questions, inputs, experience? Go ahead and share it in the chat. And because we'll be heading out or closing soon. But definitely want to give you guys some time to say anything that you may have to say. Now, my cat is acting crazy right now. Like he is attempting I don't know what he's trying to do. Anywho. Let's see. All right, let me check the chat room here. Ow. Alrighty. Well, guys, if you guys don't have anything, it's been great rocking with you all today. Thank you guys for coming in. Thanks for the information. Definitely, Joe. Definitely. I look forward to coming back with you guys for another day tomorrow, same time, same place, here on Instagram and or YouTube, wherever you guys may be at. I am Tahiri Divine, also known as the student and the teacher, and we are here for the freedom of our mental, spiritual, physical, emotional transcendence. Okay. Well, I look forward to coming back to you guys another day. You guys enjoy this happy Monday. Until next time. I'll see you. Yeah, we're doing this every morning. Yes, sir. Every morning, Monday through Friday, right here, 7 a.m. Pacific time. All right, ladies and gents, I will see you guys later. You guys have a great one. Bye.